Hello, race fans, and welcome back to the More Freedom Series. Today we have traveled to the Homestead Miami Speedway for the Homestead 80. This is going to be race number 35 in the More Freedom Series Season 5. And with two races left to go, let's go through the possibilities here at the end of the year. Again, your points leader still that 13 of King of the Aces by 1 point over the 96 of Nicko. So it is going to be a dogfight between King of the Aces and Nicko here at the end of the year. Recently, NM has moved up into the 4th position, and he still has an outside chance of winning this championship. Basically, he has to win both races here. The last 2 races, he's got to lead the most laps. Everything has to go exactly perfect for him to pull out a championship here. That is a very, very long road to hoe for him. But he does have the chance to come out on a podium here if the 25 of JTM, who still resides in the 3rd position, falters at the end of the season here. He has had a rough time the last few races, just being pushed out of the top 10. So we're going to see what happens here today at Homestead Miami. JTM is 190 points behind your points leader, the 13 King of the Aces. So JTM, all he really has to do is have 2 spectacular races here at the end of the year, and King and Nicko both have to have 2 very mediocre races here at the end of the year. They don't have to finish last, but they've got to finish way down in the order for JTM to win this championship. It's still a possibility. We'll find out after this race if he can actually win it. So yeah, that is what is happening here in the More Freedom Series. Let's go through your full top 10 in points. Again, your points leader is the 13 of King of the Aces. Second's going to be the 96 of Nicko. Third will be the 25 of JTM. Fourth will be the 88 of NM. Fifth will be the 666 of Pistol Pete. Sixth will be the 00 of Mudbone. Seventh will be the 23 of Fuller Than You. Eighth will be the 49 of Jetman. And tied for ninth will be the 95 of Zed Brenna and the 999 of Deviant. Checking in on those team and chassis standings, Aces to Zed Motorsports still leads the way. Second's going to be MBR. Third will be Amish Buggy Racing. Fourth will be Douche Motorsports. And rounding out the top 5 will be G3 Motorsports. Chassis standings are still Dodge, Chevy, and Toyota. So that's a look at all things points and what the situation is going into race number 35 here in the More Freedom Series. And I think it's about time, so let's go racing. As they get these cars fired up and out on the track for this Homestead 80, let's go through your starting top 10 today. Starting on the pole will be the 999 of Deviant, and on his outside, the 300 of Resemble. Starting third will be the 66 of Hondo, and on his outside, the 42 of Mel Say What. Starting fifth will be the 96 of Nicko, and on his outside, the 72 of Duchess. Starting seventh will be the 25 of JTM, and on his outside, the 356 of Ice Cream Some Days. Starting ninth will be the 13 of King of the Aces, and rounding out your top 10 will be the 07 of Douche Baggins. So, King of the Aces, JTM, and Nicko all starting in the top 10 here today. They're actually going to be starting nose to tail at the beginning of this race with Nick in row 3, JTM in row 4, and King in row 5. So we're going to see if they can get, which one of those 3 drivers can get it done here today at Homestead. As Deviant will be leading us down to take the green flag here today. This is pole number 2 of the year for Deviant. He is working on another top 10. He has 6 top 5s and 10 top 10s this season, 1 DNF. No win, so he is looking for win number 1 as he is going to be leading us down to the green flag. That beautiful orange and black Dodge Challenger pace car is in. Waiting on the starter's decision. The green flag is out, and we are underway for race number 35. Quickly down into turn 1 as Deviant gets that car wound up here at Homestead, trying to push out to a little bit of a lead right now over the 66 of Hondo. Hondo with a win a couple races ago, his first win of his career. He is pushed out to the 2nd position right now, right there in front of who he has been battling with for the last few races, the 96 of Nicko, as Nicko stays down to the bottom of the track. He's going to get some help by the 25 of JTM, as your leader is the 999 of Deviant. Let's bring up your timing and scoring. As always, top 10 will be on your left. Favorite driver scrolling across the top, as we have a battle for the third position right now between the 96 of Nicko and the 300 of Resemble. Resemble with a high line here. High line looking pretty stout right now here at Homestead. Nick's going to try to jump to the high line, see if that works any better for him, as he's going to battle with his teammate, the 25 of JTM. So JTM, again, has to win here today. It's got to be a fantastic race for that 25 team for him to pull out a championship. If the race ended right now, your points leader will be the 96. So, again, that's at 1 point separating the 96 and the 13 of King of the Aces, as we have a battle for the second position between the 300 of Resemble and the 66 of Hondo. So Resemble down to the inside here. This is, I'll have to say that the Drop Bear Racing team must have put a good package onto their, at least two of their cars this week, as their third driver, the 799, the car owner, he's running way back in 38th position. So the 300 of Resemble and the 999 of Deviant leading the way here at Homestead, as we see a crossover move by the 66 of Hondo here down to the bottom of the track. He's going to get a little bit of draft help right here by the 96 of Nicko. Nick is trying to push to the inside right here. Looks like the 42 of Mel Say What pushing to the outside, as we do see the 13 of King of the Aces jumping to the outside line here. So into the third position is the 66 of Hondo. Second's going to be the 300 of Resemble. Your leader still the 999 of Deviant, as Mel pushes out into the front of the 96 of Nicko here. King with a run on the outside of the 25 of JTM here. Really watching them off this track, the inside line is just not been able to push up in the groove, and that is where they're losing their time here. So solidly into the fourth position is the 42. 72 now working in, as King of the Aces has some help on the high line by the 356 of Ice Cream Some Days here. So Duchess now into the fifth position, desperately trying his best right now is the 96 of Nicko. The 13 of King of the Aces is going to be able to make it around him here on the outside. So back into the lead in the points goes the 13 of King of the Aces, as we have a battle here. Duchess to the outside of the 42 of Mel Say What. She's going to try to work to the bumper right now of her teammate, the 66 of Hondo. Hondo comes down, slams the door on the 42. So the 72 of Duchess to the outside right now on the 42 of Mel Say What, as JTM falling back into the clutches of his teammate, the 49 of Jetman. So Coda staying in that high line, picking up another spot here. Looks like he's going to try to work to the outside of the 42 of Mel Say What, as he is trying his darndest to win this championship here in the More Freedom Series. He is not going to close this out here today unless he can somehow pull off a miracle win, which, let's be real honest, 4 wins this season for the 13 of King of the Aces, and some of them have been extremely, extremely good. He has had just amazing runs this year. Knock on wood for him. Don't want to give him that announcer's curse again like I did last week. But he would have to get to the front of this field and lead a significant portion of the second half of this race, and lead at halfway to be able to seal the championship here today. But with his driving right now, he has put himself in a position to lead the championship as the 72 of Duchess works to the inside of her teammate, the 66 of Hondo, as we have a battle at the front of the field with the teammates between the 300 of Resemble and the 999 of Deviant. Again, Coda with the smart move. He is staying to the high line here. So Coda with the strategy, and he has seen it as he is staying to the high line. And he is working to the outside all the time here at this Homestead track, and he has moved himself from the 9th position here today and up to the 5th position. I had to check the standings. Yeah, he is up to the 5th position now as he works to the outside of the 72 of Duchess. So we're seeing the 96 also in the high line right now with the 49 underneath him. So Mel working to the high line. We're going to see if she stays up there. She does not. So Coda still working the high line right here behind the 66 of Hondo. I don't know if Hondo just has the oomph in his car today to try to... Oh, as we see Coda jump down, maybe he's going to give a boost. He's going to try to give a boost to the 72 of Duchess. He may have actually done that. So Coda with the boost to the 72 of Duchess here. She is able to get around the 66 of Hondo, who slams the door on the 13 of King of the Aces as Mel works to the high line here. We're going to see if the 96 goes with her. So the 96 of Nicko stays to the high line. We watch this battle now between the 42 of Mel Say What and the 13 of King of the Aces here as the 96 of Nicko is lying in wait in the high line right above his teammate, the 49 of Jetman. Closing in on, we are up to lap number 15 of hopefully 54 laps of green flag action here today as we watch a battle on the track between the 13 of King of the Aces and the 42 of Mel Say What. And now possibly the 96 of Nicko. Nicko is trying to give a boost to the 13 of King of the Aces here. He's going to work to the high line. King comes up, shuts the door on him. So King slamming the door on the 96 of Nicko there, trying to work to the high line. As Mel works around the outside and into now the 5th position. So Coda back to 6th, Nick to 7th, as we still have a battle up here at the front of the field. Leading the entire way so far has been the 999 of Deviant from the pole position here today. Deviant in just a couple laps will have doubled his lap-led total of the season as I thought I saw another battle happening right here between the 42 and the 13. So JTM now they've actually basically almost swapped the positions. JTM has lost back to the 9th position, and as we have pit stops happening here, so the entirety of the field led into the pits by the 999 of Deviant, as we see the 329 and the 88 still out there. So it's going to be at least a 2 pit stop affair here today in the More Freedom Series. Duber will take over the lead of this race, followed by the 88 of NM. So NM was hoping, I think, to get a lap lead here today. He probably is not going to do that. We'll jump and see what happens with the 999 of Deviant. Right side tires going on. Fuel going into the In-N-Out Burger Toyota for the Drop Air Racing Team. Left side tires going on. Full 2 cans of fuel here today for Deviant. As we see Duchess down on the way. The 300 down on the way. Deviant stuck in his pits. This is a major just disaster right now as we see it happening with the 96. We have I don't know what has happened here today. We have just some bad things happening between all of these drivers, the front drivers are just stuck in their pits, folks. The 96 is finally down and away. I'm not sure if they had damage or what has happened. But all the top drivers were stuck in their pits. I am literally dumbfounded at this point of the race with what has just happened here today. As we do see some skid marks there, no caution flag. I'm not sure if it just incurred some damage when they all got out of the gas to come into the pits. So going laps down will be the 13 of King of the Aces, the 96 and the 25. Again, I am not sure what happened there, but all of these drivers have gone a lap down, and it must have been because they had damage on their cars coming into the pits. We'll try to catch up to your leader, which is going to be the 300 of Resemble if I can find him. Actually, it might, no, because Deviant's going to be a lap down here. He's actually going to be the last person on the lead lap. So your leader on the track is the 300 of Resemble. And let's jump back. Let's see what happened with everybody. What happened to keep them in the pits as long as it did. Well, we'll watch this, and I don't see any contact, anything here. So I'm not sure what happened with the pitting, but there was no contact with the wall, with anything here. Maybe they incurred a penalty for speeding. I'm not sure, but as far as I can tell, nothing happened to cause them to stay in the pits as long as they did. So we're back up here at the front of the field. Your leader again is the 300 of Resemble. Second's going to be the 51 of AJM. Third will be the 72 of Duchess. Fourth will be the 34 of Super Snake. Fifth will be the 47 of Dash. Sixth will be the 49 of Jetman. Seventh will be the 333 of Keeping It Twisted. Eighth will be the 799 of Mike Check, and rounding out your top 10 will be the 66 of Hondo. Actually, one of those might not be in the top 10. It's the 49 of Jetman. He's a lap down. So actually in 10th position is the 329 of Heck of a Duber. So I am just not sure what happened here today with everything. Just dumbfounded, basically, as we watch King battle with the 329 of Heck of a Duber. So leading this race is the 300 of Resemble, and so I'm just looking at all of the standings, again, dumbfounded. The 96, who runs in the 34th position, he's not gonna be the points leader. The 13's gonna, if the race ended right now, the 13 of King of the Aces would still be your points leader by 2, 4, 6 points, 7 points, I think, over the 96 of Nicko. The one making the biggest gain this week would be the 88 of NM right now, who runs in the 12th position. As we see the 51 of AJM battling with the 72 of Duchess right now. So again, the 49 of Jetman is not in the top 10 here. And we do see those skid marks, but it must have involved maybe the 23 of Fuller Than You. Not entirely sure. But the 51 of AJM trying to work he jumps back into the line here as he falls back to the 3rd position. And Dash, we just got to talk about, is now into the top 5 after starting 15th here today. So Dash is now into the 4th position after starting 15th, after he set the single season record for the most amount of DNFs. He has trying to turn it around here in the last 3 races of the season. He had a great finish last week. Now up to the 4th position here today. Yeah, we still have 1 pit stop to go, folks. Is really, you know, we're probably going to be stopping on lap 36. So in about 4 laps or so, I think. Now, it's going to be longer than that. So 18, 12, 14. Yeah, about 4 laps here is what we're going to be before we stop again. So we got about 4 laps before pit stops start happening again, which apparently anything can happen on, as the 300 of Resemble still leads away here. Noting the 96 of Nicko now up to the 33rd position. He is way behind the 13 of KingoftheAcez here. The only thing I can think of is that they had a time penalty for speeding on pit road. But I don't feel like that's right, but that seems like what it was. But it made literally 0 sense as to all of that, because the 300 of Resemble, it did not get that time penalty. He did not. So I'm not sure exactly what happened. Maybe it was they were just shoving as much gas as they could into these cars trying to go to the end of this race. It's an impossibility to get all the way to the end of the race here today. But I've seen stranger things happen. You know, maybe they're going to give it a go. Maybe they're going to try it. But, I mean, again, I've seen crazier things. As I'm not sure if... Again, Paul had some I'm not sure if he was the one that had damage. He's in danger of actually going 2 laps down at this point. So we do see the 47 of Dash ducks into the pits here, which could be good for Dash because he's going to have a clear pit road and going to be able to try to pull in and get his service before everybody else. And, you know, clear pit road is a big deal here in the More Freedom Series. So we're watching the 300 of Resemble, who leads away here over the 72 of Duchess, as it looks like he is jumping down that crossover by that 72. So the 300 back in for his final pit stop here today at Homestead. I keep wanting to say New Hampshire. This is Homestead. So final pit stop for that 300 of Resemble. So we do see some damage on the 40 of Veteran Chaos there. So it looks like Vet was the one that had the issues. Hopefully he didn't hit the end of pit road wall again. AJM is in. He has got right side tires going on. We're going to watch the 300 of Resemble as he pulls into his pits for the final time. Final service on that Dr. Pepper Toyota for the Drop Bear Racing Team. Resemble is looking for race win number 1 of the season here today. And he has got 4 tires and fuel going on to his vehicle, as the 51 of AJM has to slow up for him coming out of the pits, and it is going to be a drag race back onto the track for the 300 of Resemble and the 51 of AJM. Here comes with a full head of steam the 47 of Dash. He is going to work around the outside of the 34 of Super Snake here. So again, Duber takes back over the lead here today. We're going to follow along with this 300 of Resemble as he slides high into turn 1 and 2. There's the 66 of Hondo. There's the 23 of Fuller Than You. So I think, I'm not saying for sure yet, but the 47 of Dash is trying to make this a 3rd win of the season right now. Little bit of a bump right there on the 51. I think had the 47 a dash there for a second. We're looking for the 329 of Heck of a Duber here. We saw the 72 of Duchess. So we're waiting on timing and excuse me, timing and scoring to update. It does update, and your leader is the 300 of Resemble. Let's quickly go through your current top 10. Your leader is the 300 of Resemble. Second's going to be the 47 of Dash. Third will be the 34 of Super Snake. Fourth will be the 51 of AJM. Now in fifth will be the 49 of Jetman. Sixth will be the 799 of Mike Check. Seventh will be the 66 of Hondo. Eighth will be the 333 of Keeping It Twisted. Ninth will be the 329 of Heck of a Duber. And rounding out your top 10 will be the 88 of NM. So this is a very weird race here today because I believe the 49 of Jetman was a lap down. But now he's being shown in the top 10 somehow. Maybe he just went gas and go. But yeah, he's in the top 10, and he does show him as having 2 pit stops. Checking in on your points leader, King of the Aces currently running in the 26th position. Nick running 29th, and JTM running 30th right now. So with about 10 laps to go, your leader on the track, the 300 of Resemble, has put a spacer between himself and the rest of the field, with the 23 of Fuller Than You in between them, as we see the 34 or the 51 trying to work to the outside of the 47 at Dash. We're going to see if AJM, I don't think this was just not a great set of tires on that 51 Zen Dodge for MBR. Checking in on, also want to give a look at the team points standings right now, as there aren't any Aces DZ Motorsports vehicles in the top 10 right now, but we do have 3 MBR drivers in the top 10, which that is a 31-point lead by Aces DZ. That is not going to be... That is not going to be the... They're not going to lose the points lead here today. That's going to come down to the final race as well, I do believe. We'd have to see the 51 of AJM win the race here today, or the 49 of Jetman win this race here today. But just cooking off laps is the 300 of Resemble. He has got that Dr. Pepper Toyota hooked up here today at Homestead. They have just absolutely slapped an amazing package on the Dr. Pepper Toyota. The Drop Air Racing team has done a fantastic job here today in these closing laps. He has led 24. He has led since the first pit stop, and hasn't even looked back. He has just been clicking off laps, and it is basically right now. It's Resemble's race to lose. And you love to see it after the season that Resemble has had. He's only had 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s here this year, 1 pole. He's only led 26 laps. He's actually right there, has doubled the amount of laps led that he has this season, and unfortunately has had 3 DNFs. Just a terrible year this year for that 300 of Resemble. But you just have to say that, like, this is a redemption race. This is what you got to build here at the end of the year and work towards next season. As we still see the 96, the 25, and the 13 maintaining their positions right now, as laps are just winding down here for your leader, the 300 of Resemble. 34 of Super Snake has snuck his way into the second position right there in front of the 47 of Dash. We'll jump back through the field. The 88 of NM still in the top 10. Looking for him right here. He's right there in front of the 356 of Ice Cream Some Days, right there behind the 20 of Adam B5000. Adam lap down. The distance between the 96 and the 13 really insurmountable at this point. So King of the Aces, excuse me, will come out of the race here today as the points leader still, and it will go to the final race of the year at Talladega to see who is going to be our champion. And I'm guessing it's probably going to be roughly 2, 4, 5 or 6 points, maybe 7 points. As we're going to get the white flag, excuse me, white flag, 1 lap to go here. So 1 more lap for your leader here at Homestead, the 300 of Resemble, and a fantastic run starting on the outside pole has absolutely just hammered down here today. The Drop Bear Racing team has done a fantastic job on that car here today, and Resemble working out of turn number 4 for the final time down to the front stretch. He is going to win it here today at Homestead Miami Speedway. Awesome run for the 300 of Resemble here today. He leads the most laps and is just looked fantastic. Again, not sure what happened with what happened with everything. Which I'm looking at timing and yeah, okay, so timing and scoring has updated. So let's go through your finishing top 10. Again, your winner is the 300 of Resemble. Second will be the 34 of Super Snake. Third will be the 47 of Dash. Fourth will be the 49 of Jetman. Fifth will be the 51 of AJM. Sixth will be the 799 of Mike Check. Seventh will be the 66 of Hondo. Eighth will be the 333 of Keeping It Twisted. Ninth will be the 329 of Heck of a Duper. And rounding out your top 10 will be the 88 of NM. So NM does a little bit here today, but he's gonna. I would assume that he is out of contention for the championship, as well as the 25 of JTM will fall out of contention for the championship after this race. But let's go through. Next week, we finish it up. We head to Talladega for the Talladega 100, so it is the final race next week. It is for all the marbles, and we're going to see who is our champion, if it will be the 96 of Nicko or the 13 of King of the Aces. But having said that, let's look at those current point standings and see what the separation is between the 96 of Nicko and the 13 of King of the Aces. So you're having a gander at those points right now. Let's also check in on the team and chassis standings, as I believe Aces to Zed will be leading going into the final race of the season, trying to win their first team championship here in the More Freedom Series, trying to dethrone the champs, the crown, the kings, MBR, who has won 4, which also I'm sure Dodge still leading the way here today. Well, that's going to do it here for the Homestead 80 here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. What a fantastic race. What a great win for the 300 of Resemble. You just love to see it here at the end of the year. Resemble being able to pull out a win, and just it's great to go out the season with a win. And so fantastic job by the 300 of Resemble and the Drop Bear Racing team. And we're going to see what he does next week at Talladega. And until then, take care.